Welcome to Voice of Kharnang. Tonight, we bring you an urgent and heartbreaking report. Over 350,000 people have signed a petition demanding the United Nations investigate China's colonial boarding school system in Tibet, an institution that has stolen nearly 1 million Tibetan children from their families, their culture, their very identity. A coalition of over 140 Tibet advocacy groups is raising the alarm, calling for UN High Commissioner Volker Türk to break his silence, to stand against China's systemic erasure of Tibetan heritage. And yet, silence persists. These are not just schools. These are indoctrination camps. In remote facilities, far from home, Tibetan children are forced to abandon their mother tongue, their traditions, their faith. Instead, they are subjected to a curriculum designed to assimilate them into Han Chinese culture, a policy of cultural genocide in broad daylight. The International Tibet Network warns that China's so-called education system is nothing more than a systematic erasure of Tibet's identity. Mandy McEwen, ICAN's executive director, puts it bluntly. These schools are not just about learning. They are part of a state-led effort to erase Tibetan culture from existence. And the silence from the United Nations? Deafening. Despite UN human rights experts repeatedly warning about China's assimilationist policies, the world's highest human rights official has yet to take action. Fernand de Varenis, the UN Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues, has spoken out, saying, "I don't think so many children have ever been kept away from their communities on this scale before. But we know what this is. We've seen it before. Indigenous children torn from their families in Canada and the United States, the forced re-education of Uyghurs in Xinjiang, and now, the Chinese Communist Party is perfecting its tactics in Tibet." Major international media outlets are exposing the brutal truth. The BBC calls these institutions jails for Tibetan children. The New York Times exposes the horrors in its front-page report, erasing a culture, child by child. Tibetans and human rights activists worldwide are demanding action. The call is simple. Volker Türk, speak up. The UN must act before an entire generation of Tibetans is lost. The world must not look away. This is a battle for the survival of Tibet's identity. Will the United Nations stand for human rights? Or will it once again let history repeat itself? Stay with Voice of Kharnang for the truth that others won't tell.